As Michele Norris explained in her interview, conversations about race don't have to be difficult. Instead, they can be viewed as courageous. Embracing that type of courageous dialogue seems to be a focus at Nazareth College. The school invited Norris and the Race Card Project to meet with students, faculty, and the Rochester community this month. Joining me now to discuss how the college is utilizing the tools learned from the Race Card Project in the classroom and throughout the campus is Nazareth College President Daan Braveman, Assistant Professor of Communication and Media Leah Stacy, and Naz seniors Adora Evans and Chase Farren. Welcome to you all.
Thank you.
So we'll jump right in, and I want to ask you, first of all, President Braveman, why was it important for Naz to bring this landmine topic, as Michele Norris describes it, to the campus?
I think one of the most important things we can be doing on a college campus these days is to prepare our students to live and work with people across race lines. The public schools and the schools they're coming from, our high schools, are more segregated than ever. And there's not that opportunity to really engage in dialogue and understanding across race lines. So we, the colleges, need to step in and do that.
You know, we're at a time right now we're hearing about protests regarding issues of race relations on college campuses around the country, including some close to home. And I'm interested in knowing, as students, Adora and Chase, how imperative do you believe fostering conversations about race on campuses at institutions should be?
I guess I'll go first.
Sure.
I think it's vital. It's very important because there's a lot of students who will come to Nazareth College who aren't as open-minded as I would like to think that I am. And it's a little frustrating when you can see that there's a clear difference in intellect and I guess, the thought process when race and that conversation comes about. It's a little disturbing. So I feel as though if people aren't on the same page, they need to get there. It's really important.
Chase?
I think college is the best time to start the conversation. College is all about stepping outside your comfort zone, and that is the only way you're going to grow. You can't stay inside and expect to learn anything new. So getting uncomfortable is the only way you're going to start growing.
And getting uncomfortable, I'm sure, was something that happened in some of your classes, because you talked about this. 3 of your courses actually worked on the Race Card Project. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious to know about your approach and how you engage students, and also made this relevant, because we do live in a time when there are people in our society who say we're living in a post-racial society, which is not the case.
No. So Adora and Chase are taking 2 different classes with me. Chase is in editing for publication, and in that course it's really important to me that they not only learn things like AP style and grammar and punctuation, but also how to start important conversations in the newsroom if that's where they end up working. You know, if the editors don't take the responsibility and step up to the plate, who is going to do that? So for that class, that was a discussion that we had. Adora is in my Writing for Digital Media class, where we use a lot of social media. And I love the fact that Michele's project is on the web, but also has that physical manifestation of the cards. So we decided to kind of put our own little twist on it and put it on Twitter. And so I actually sent them out on campus, which is always their favorite thing. And I had them interview a fellow student and do the 6 words. And then we created a Storify and collected them all in one place.
Daan, I want to ask you about cultural competency. That's something that Michele Norris brought up. She said, more and more, businesses and companies, this is something that they're looking for in employees in this ever more multi-ethnic, multifaceted world. How do we create that on college campuses and institutions when we look at ethnic demographics and racial backgrounds, and we're not seeing that diversity on campuses like we want to?
Yeah, but every survey I've seen of employers highlights the need to hire people who are able to work in diverse settings. And I think the key here is that diversity enriches us, and it shouldn't be seen as threatening. And we see a lot in the national campaign now about how it appears to be threatening. So what we need to do is really systematically approach this on college campuses. And part of it is in courses like the media courses, but also I've just established this semester a campus-wide committee that is going to look at specific strategies for doing exactly that. So our students, when they leave, will be prepared to work and live with people who are different from themselves along racial lines and cultural lines. I think that's critical.
And Chase and Adora, based on the experiences that you've had with the Race Card Project and the coursework, what are some other ways that you would like to see these conversations, I guess, develop, not just on your campus, but on the campuses of your friends as well?
I think recognizing in the first place that there is diversity in trying not to ignore this conversation that's kind of been happening in the background. And actually, as President Braveman said at a town hall meeting at NAS the other day, I don't want to be in a room of 20 students that are 20 other me's. I want that diversity. I'm not going to learn anything if I'm listening to myself talk 7 hours a day.
Yeah, I think it's a little hard because oftentimes, like, this is my 3rd year at NAS, although I'm a senior, and oftentimes amongst my friends or maybe staff, faculty, I've always wondered, how is it that we can do things other than the Race Card Project or some lecture at the college to have that conversation? Because I guess those things, I'm glad that they're set out there for us to attend, but some students just aren't motivated. And I feel as though the students who aren't motivated to go to these events, we need to reach out to them as well. And it's just hard to do that. So I feel as though just generally having this sort of conversation just looming over the campus, where it's like you constantly know this is something to be had, then that's where the conversations will happen in your dorm, off campus, when you're getting coffee or something like that.
And I think it's very important for campuses, for the leadership, to make it clear that this is a key issue for the campus. And I've said this many times, I've written this, I can't imagine anything more important, particularly at a school like Nazareth that values the liberal arts as well as the professional programs, to make sure our students can have cross-cultural, cross-racial competencies. I think it's critical.
Before I let you go, would any of you mind sharing your 6 words?
My 6 words is, why don't I feel comfortable here? And that's pretty much just goes across anywhere that I am. I may feel that way, but my personality doesn't really let anyone else bother me.
Yeah.
Actually, so when I did this originally, I didn't realize the scope that Michele was going for with what is race to you. So originally I had physical characteristics, significance is up to you.
Significance is up to you.
Mine is racial diversity enriches all of us. And I should back up. One of my favorite books about this whole issue is called The Dignity of Difference. And it really emphasizes that, you know, we live in a world where all this difference might threaten us or it could enrich us. And I really think we need to figure out how we can understand the enriching aspect.
And as we close?
Mine is inside, we're all the same.
Right. Well, a very special thank you to my guests. I appreciate you joining me. Chase Farren, Adora Evans, Leah Stacy, and Daan Braveman. And you can check out the 6-word submissions collected by students from Leah Stacy's digital media class at NAS on our website. Just go to WXXInews.org and click on the Need to Know link.